What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, brewery, basically anybody that makes this city of brotherly love and the surrounding area as awesome as it is. We're also going to start opening that up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to start interviewing bands that are passing through Philly as well. I think that if it's going down in Philly, then I want to be able to cover it and talk to people and find out what their experiences in Philly has been. But basically, if it's going down in Philly, I would like to try to cover it. This time around, though, we head out to University City where we interview Yeenar, which is pretty much the brainchild of this dude, Andy. And we tried to convince Andy's bandmates to leave Jersey, to forget their degrees, to rent a trailer and do music full time. We meet their new management team and we find out what the hell Yeenar means. This podcast is rad as fuck. Make sure to check out Yeenar live this Saturday, May 27th at the Pharmacy. And thanks to their new management, you can now find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure to also like us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And we just set up a Patreon account where for as little as $1 a month, you can get exclusive content. And you can also go up as high as you want, and we can even help you promote your show. But getting back to these dudes here, this is Yeenar. They are rad as fuck, and you definitely want to check them out this Saturday, 5/27, at the Pharmacy. It's gonna fucking rock your fucking socks off. All right, man. So we are on. So we're here. Why don't you guys start with your names, your instruments, your band name, all that jazz.
All right. I'm Andy. I sing and play guitar for Yeenar.
I'm Tim. I played drums for Yeenar.
My name's Ken, and I manage Yeenar.
All right. So the first thing I want to right off the bat, we are like right around the corner from where I first started. I was telling you guys that I moved out here from Texas. And I ended up on 45th and Woodland. And it's funny because I've been talking about, like, everybody's been doing, or I've been asking people, like, crazy-ass Philly stories. Tell me that's a new thing that I'm doing. It's CAPS, crazy-ass Philly stories. And I've been trying to think about, like, some of my own crazy-ass Philly stories. And my first crazy-ass Philly story, which I will share at a later time, actually starts in Texas before I get to 45th and Woodland. And it basically involves a crazy, insane landlord that basically tried to get me to go to a hotel with him before getting into the house. It was a pretty fucked up story.
It does. It sounds strange.
Yeah, it's a crazy ass Philly story. I'm telling you. But what I want to start off with is fucking A. What does Yeenar mean, man? Because I googled that shit and then it was like nothing, and then I was like, Google Translate that shit then, and then it'll recognize the language, and it didn't. So what is Yeenar?
I'll let Andy explain.
Yeenar, it's like Yeenar. If you ever think about something that's like, it's kind of like you just think Yeenar. It's kind of like that.
Oh, fuck yeah, Yeenar.
Tim, you want to follow up?
Well, there's a longer, more elaborate story behind it. It was a moniker that Andy used on a game we used to play way back, and it's just random gibberish, to be honest. Like, it's just nonsense. But yeah, we like it.
Awesome. That's like for me, I have Nargle and like Narglenovs and like Nargle. I told my kids that fucking Narglenovs were like invisible monsters, and fucking you could only find them if you chased the uncles, and the uncles were just invisible ants.
I believe it.
So fucking how did you guys get started, man? What's your deal?
Well, I've known Andy for a long time. Like, we go way back. And
of course, when we're recording, the ambulance would be like, yeah, but that's just Philly. So right now we're in University City pretty much, and we're outside chilling on the porch. Do you guys ever do porch shows out here?
We want to. Yeah.
there's space for it.
Yeah, it would be cool. There's like West Philly Porch Fest happening June 3rd, I think, but we never really got into that. We never like signed up, so it would be a cool idea. Maybe something acoustic.
So I hear like with the Porch Fest. So there's a group, West Philly Porch Fest or something like that. So is it just a one-day event, or do like people give up their porches for anybody to perform whenever?
I think it's a one-day event, but there's gonna be like lead up to it, maybe with people kind of gearing up and doing mini shows or something. Not the best source on it, but I think it's mainly June 3rd is like the all day. Everybody's outside on the porch deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you would have to sign up. I mean, technically you are in West
Yeah, I
Philly.
could
Technically you
just
do have a
Do
porch.
it. Yeah, I think if I want to get more people there or whatever, you can post or something and people like see it.
How long has that been going on? That
I have no idea. No idea. This is my first year out here, so.
Oh, where are you from?
From Jersey, just like these guys.
Fucking Jersey.
Yeah, sorry everybody. I was in South Philly last year and then moved out here last August.
So what brought you guys, I guess all of you from Jersey out to Philly?
Well, Philly is a much more bumpin' music scene for sure than like around where we live in Princeton. Well, yeah, we're from Princeton, like that area in New Jersey. And I mean, there's stuff going on over there, but Philly's just a much cooler scene in general. And Andy's been out here for a little more than a year now, something like that. Yeah, so, and he's been getting involved with the more local music scene, so we'd rather play shows out here and do stuff out here.
Right on. And what brings you? How did you before we even talk? Well, how did you get here? How did you get to Philly? Were you always in Philly?
Oh, me? I currently live in New Brunswick right now. But are you talking about like for literally what? How do we got? I mean, we.
Well, I mean, so you're from New Jersey as
Yeah,
well. What brought you from Jersey over here?
We still live in New Jersey.
Oh, you're the only
He's
dude
the
out
only
here.
one that lives here in Philly. So like we make time in terms of like getting here.
Oh wow! All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank
Yeah,
you for
no
taking
problem.
that trip. So all right, what we'll do first is say what. So how did you guys get started? You guys started out in Jersey, and then you guys sent one dude out to like pave the way.
Yeah, basically. Well, we started, I don't know, Tim and I have been jamming just informally since like 6th grade. And, we went to different colleges in different states and, we kept in touch but didn't really have any projects going formally. And then when I came back to Philly from Pittsburgh, which is not as close to Jersey, I was like, let's get back together. And Kenny, who's now managing Yeenar, was our first bassist for Cash Bomb, which was pre-Yeenar band and all kinds of stuff. And we landed here in this form. And I'm still the only guy in Philly. But we're a Philly band, I guess. Or a Jersey band. I don't know.
Yeah, why is that? What would prompt you guys to finally move out to Philly? What would it take to get you
Yeah,
guys?
Tim.
That's a good question that I have been asked multiple times. Right now, I recently just graduated from Rutgers, so I'm looking for work. I graduated.
Fuck that. Just become a rock star. What is that?
Exactly.
I mean, degrees are overrated, bro.
There you go. I agree. But yeah, right now we're trying to do this band thing, and obviously it would be easier if we were all here in Philly.
There's this awesome thing called like the internet. So like they got ZipRecruiter and all this shit. You can find all kinds of jobs like here in Philly.
Yeah,
So-
I mean all kinds of odd stuff all over. And Andy's kind of an expert at that kind of thing.
Holy shit! Do you do the Craigslist jobs a lot?
All about Craigslist.
Get the fuck out of here! All right, so have you ever taken any odd jobs from there? Because there's some fucking
What,
odd
like
people
little
on
gigs? No, not like little side jobs or anything.
there. All right, so what kind of jobs have you found on Craigslist?
Found a cafe job, found a cooking job, dog walking job.
Dog walking
job. Yeah, man. Craigslist is the Lord. No, I take that back. But Craigslist is great.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Is that how you're surviving out here? Is just through like Craigslist
Pretty much
jobs?
through Craigslist. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Dude, it pans out, man.
I got a free beer fridge from Craigslist, and so
Free.
I mean, yeah, dude, it was
Yo.
totally free. It's in my man cave now.
That's the same.
Yeah, dude, it is.
That's the same as me having a job from Craigslist. Beer fridge equals job.
Right? We'll work for beer fridge, right?
Yeah, we'll work for beer fridge.
We'll work for beer. I mean, why not?
Period.
So is it just a job thing that's keeping you back from moving out here?
Partially, there's some other things that kind of make it tough. Just other little parts. But right now in Jersey, I got a nice little setup at home, and we actually rehearse there a lot. I would love to do shows there if I could, but I live like right next to a high school. So the whole noise ordinance thing is always an issue, and we've had the cops called on our house so many times.
Really?
Yeah, my older brother actually, he plays in like a death metal band
Oh, sweet!
Death
I have
metal.
yet to uncover like the like really like metal scene here in
Mhm.
Philly, and it's something that like I love metal. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like to be able to find that and like I just can't wait to finally peel back that layer of the onion and see
Right.
like what's out here with
Right,
that.
right. Yeah, I don't know too much about it in Philly either.
Yeah, that's the answer I keep getting too. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, I know where all the punk shows are.
Right.
I know where all the emo shows are. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, the metal thing is just it's hard.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, he's gotten the cops called at our house so many times back in PJ, and it's just constantly an issue. Not so much with us because we're not, quite that loud, but it's a nice setup over there.
So what got you? How did you start managing the band? I mean, you were a bassist in one of the previous bands, but how did you end up managing these dudes?
So basically, this was actually very recent. Like literally I'd say about a week or two ago. I was listening to some of the other artists that played alongside Yeenar at one of the shows that they played. Good, how are you? Yeah.
That was such an awesome festival.
So I was like listening to this other band, and I checked out their Bandcamp and stuff, and I was like, yo, I hit up Andy. I was like, yo, do you have like physical CDs that I can purchase? And he's like, no, but you can like download it online and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but like what about like merchandise and stuff like that? So like I just got like all these ideas running through me, and then yeah, stuff that we should have happening. But like, so we just like brainstormed for like an hour or two, and then we were like, okay, let's like make a Google Doc of like a checklist of all the things we're doing. So and then I was thinking, like he's spending time making music.
You'll probably have to hold that close, like super close.
He's spending time like
There you
making music, so he really shouldn't be like wasting his time with all the other crap that like somebody's got to pick up, the other side of it.
So you're obviously just like you're obviously just starting out with like a basic like checklist. This is what needs like even me like with a podcast. One of the things that I'm thinking about is like merch. Like shit, I have to have like I need to get into that game too. So the night before, Good, how are you? No, you're gonna want to hold that because I still got questions for you. The night before Good, how are you? I'm like iron on like things on his shirts and like screwing them up and like burning CDs of just like podcasts that I've done to like give away. And making little signs and stuff, but it's important to have that presence. In fact, I think it's one of the things that makes like or helps bands survive, whether you're going on tour or whatever. But to be able to make that little bit of extra pocket money to keep it going, and plus it just feels good to like get some cash from like your art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, but now that you're starting that, do you think that that's something that you could do like a lot of?
I mean, I just recently graduated, so like I have nothing but free time while I search for an adult job or whatever you want to call it. But
What was your major?
psychology.
Oh shit! Well, this might be right up your alley then.
Yeah.
You might have just worked yourself into a job, right?
Yeah.
That and Craigslist. There's always Craigslist.
Absolutely,
I hear that's
yes.
working out. So just starting this off, I mean, you have a lot of free time. You haven't found an adult job. What is your vision? What would you like to see? What would you like to see these dudes do, or what? Yeah, what is your vision for Yeenar?
At the very least, I want to see it just get a little bit widespread. Not like a lot, but at least locally. Like, because I've been listening to music for, I'm sure everybody says this, like fucking all my life. So it's like I've listened to Andy's music and I genuinely like it. Like I want hard copies of it. I want to like collect album by album, EP by EP. Like I want those singles. I want everything. So like it's like after like going through, I don't know, all the stuff that we all go through and everything, like music wise, it's hard to find something original. And I'm sure there's tons out there, but like in terms of like actually finding it, it's like for some reason more difficult than it should be. So
I think probably one of the things that I always that I worry about, and especially when talking to bands, is like they're pressing up CDs, but I feel like it's almost obsolete now. And it's like it's obsolete, but so are tapes. And I see a lot of bands making like cassette tapes. You know.
I've been my mission has been to bring back CDs, but they haven't left yet. I just want to be the first guy to start bringing back CDs, but they're not quite dead.
No, dude.
So
So I'm with you,
You know what I mean?
100%, 100%, and it's like they haven't left yet. But you know what's great about them not left yet is that you can literally go on Craigslist and
Yeah.
fucking find 100 CDs, blank CDs for $1.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I-
should have done that.
Dude, I do that, and
Alright.
so I found a whole bunch of them, and I found like 150 CD cases for $20. Yeah, dude. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You find a printer or somebody that has access to one at work. Maybe a guy that just graduated from Rutgers finds himself in a nice office, and you just start bootlegging covers and stuff. You know what I
Hell
mean?
yeah.
But so they're not gone yet, but they are kind of obsolete. But that's what's great about it is finding some of that like real inexpensive stuff because people are like, I don't use this anymore. Like
Yeah.
another
Giving it away.
another pro tip is Craigslist or those Facebook sales groups entering in the word blank. And then, like, you'll find all kinds of, like, blank shirts, blank this, blank that. But then you can buy those on the cheap. And then whenever you go get shirts made, be like, I've got these 10 extra shirts. Could you just print them up for me, like, with the pile?
That's
Ah,
great. That's
yeah.
like so pertinent to what we're doing right now. We're
Good.
trying to get our whole merch set up.
That's awesome.
Noted. Duly noted.
Does anybody here have any, like, screen printing skills or?
We a friend Nicole from a former Craigslist job. Yeah, shout out to Craigslist. Shout out to Nicole.
some free plugs today.
Yeah, Craigslist.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. We're owed some money.
I
We
think
need
so, man.
Craigslist money.
We're
But
going to
yeah,
bleep out Craigslist every time, then send it to them and tell them, do you realize how many times Craigslist could have been mentioned here?
all the ad revenue you can get from this.
Exactly right.
But yeah, so she does screen printing. We're gonna try to get some blank shirts. Hey, what's up, neighbors? We're just doing. You want to be on the interview? We're getting interviewed. All right, but she does screen printing, so we're gonna do that the local route.
So I've been like obsessed with the merch idea too, and it's expensive to buy. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
you want like 10 shirts, they're like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. $15 a piece, like $150 for 10 shirts. Like
yeah,
I don't even spend that when I go clothes shopping. Like what do you mean? You know?
Yeah.
So like it's just I've been looking at like the whole DIY and like how to make your own silk screen and how to like do all that stuff, and it's not that hard. But I'm sorry, it's not that expensive, but it's difficult like to learn and to do and to keep
Yeah.
up with, and that's frustrating. But you got a manager for that now.
That's
so.
true. Yeah. Hey, you gotta learn some screen printing.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. And
Put
and,
that.
yeah, get a dark room going so we can get our own film photos, dude. Come on, Kenny. Step it
So
up.
what's you guys' vision for Yeenar?
Let's go Tim first.
I'm just kind of in it for the ride. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but I just want to play drums. I want to get shows under my belt, and I love Andy's music, and I want it to go where it can go. Wherever it goes, I'm down. Kind of.
Are you guys? Have you guys hit up other cities aside from Jersey and Philly?
We've been kind of discussing that possibility for this upcoming summer a little bit, doing a short tour, and I'm not sure where exactly. We were discussing like some places in upstate New York, making kind of a big loop, maybe north and then back to Philly, to some spots. I don't think we have anything set in stone yet, though. Not yet, but yeah, we're working on it.
Wow, man. So, what I want to talk a little bit about, like when you first come from Jersey and you're coming to Philly, how did you get yourself integrated into the scene? Like, what were some of your first moves, or what did you?
Craigslist.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So yeah, I'm sure you did interview Maddie from Tralfamadore.
Fuck yeah!
And Secret Nudist Friends, of course.
His interview just got uploaded today.
I
So.
watched and listened.
Okay,
and
cool. What'd you think?
It's awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
He's a great talker, obviously.
He is.
But yeah, I'm in his band, Secret Nudist Friends, and that was through Craigslist. I remember sending. They had like a very nicely written post, like we need the guy who can do this, and I was just like, I'm their guy. I got to convey this in one email, and I spent like 2 hours writing this huge email, like trying to make it carefully, not too overbearing, but not too like casual. Whatever. I was like, and it worked out, and we're tight group of dudes, and then from there, Maddie's just the best, networker and friend in the scene, and He's a good guy to know.
Dude, that dude's doing like so
He's
much.
in
Like
everything in
I
this whole
know,
scene.
man, and his idea of like this like how to do house shows, and it's kind of like different because I've seen other now that I've been exposed to it and I've looked into it, and I was gonna put together, maybe I should I was putting together a 2 to 5 minute documentary about the house show scene.
Yeah.
And I was working on it, I was clipping it, and then like it was getting good, like to the point where like I was chopping stuff up to the point where I was able to shorten it down. But then I'm using I'm so bootleg and don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm using Windows Movie Maker.
Classic.
Yeah, classic, right? Well, the shit fucking froze on me, crashed, and then when I opened it, the project was gone, so I had to start from scratch.
Nightmare.
So when I was like starting from scratch, that's when I did Maddie's How Tralfamador got started.
Cool.
Shit, I forgot where I was going with this. But anyway, so the thing is that like I like his idea. That's where it was. So as I was doing that, I looked and I was like, well, fuck, man, somebody's already done documentaries about like the underground house scene and this and stuff. And I was like getting down on myself and like, and I don't want to do something that's already been done or whatever. But when I was going through that, I saw, and I've heard of these places, the Tea House or whatever it is. Was it? I think Golden Tea House. I think that's what it was called. But it was like I think this is the one that had all the trash and stuff like that. And it was just like, oh, there's this pile of trash. But his idea of, nah, man, keep your house clean or whatever, and people are going to respect that. You know what I mean? I guess there's trash on the floor. And they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like this model and this whole different thing about it, and this I'm obsessed too with this thing of this, and especially after Good How Are You Fest, of this Philadelphia New York corridor where bands are coming from New York to Philly, and Philly bands are going to New York. And to me, being from all the way from like far west Texas, this idea of being like of playing or performing in New York, it's like such a big thing. You know what I mean? It's like such it's
New
like
York.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like just this idea that fucking bands are just fucking 2 hours away, hopping up in a car and just like driving out to make that happen.
Yep.
Dude, that kind of makes my dick hard. Like I'm like, you know what I
we
mean?
go.
Like that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Now we're talking.
And so it's just a wild thing. And so to meet somebody like Maddie who's definitely kind of opened up a lot this door. Not that it didn't exist before, but having this central person who has been able to open this door to so many different bands and open up that corridor and let people come in and do this, and is so willing, like you say, with networking, to introduce you to this person or introduce you to that person, and it's up to you, like, to whatever you
follow
do with
up
that.
on
Exactly
that,
right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so take notes, manager. You gotta
Kenny, need lessons.
you gotta make things happen. So what has been so you did that, you did through Craigslist, and then what was the experience like after that? Like how did it start kicking in? How did you get these guys to, how were you like, yo, I found this scene, you guys got to come down here and play? And
yeah, it was basically like that. I mean, I knew I had the goal of getting integrated in the scene, and definitely getting to know Maddie and Brian from Secret Newest Friends was a stroke of luck, but also, I was looking for that, and it all kind of happened with time and patience. And then there's a lot to learn. There's a lot more than just playing a show. You can't just learn a set and get on stage. It's so much more to that, and there's a whole community where each individual member, this is their entire life, and there are quote unquote rules to abide by, and etiquette and all that. And if there's no one in the band that kind of knows what's going on in that regard, you can't really make it anywhere.
that's interesting. So what do you consider like rules and etiquette? Like what?
Well, I guess rules is more of a harder word. Etiquette, I think, is more appropriate. I guess just you gotta be part of the scene before you install yourself in it. You gotta show up to other people's shows and genuinely listen and genuinely care about other people, and you can't just be like, hey, I'm new here, this is my band, we're gonna play a bunch of shows. I think I made like a Facebook post in one of the groups that books shows, and I was like, yeah, we're the house venues here or something like that, like a year ago, and they were like, find out yourself or something like that.
That's a Philly. That
very
is so
Philly.
Fucking Philly.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Philly's also just a dick.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I mean. And once I got the lay of the land a little bit, I was able to be like, all right, guys, I can introduce us a little more strategically now, and and they were down.
I think what's ironic about that when you bring it up and they're like, find it yourself, it's almost like you don't find house shows, they find you. Like the person that knows where they're at, it's like, oh, I know about this super secret shit, illegal shit that goes down in this dude's house.
Exactly.
Do you want to come with me? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, fuck
yeah.
I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to check that out. And I think you bring up a valid point about like you have to go to people's shows and you have to do this. And I'm one of the things that I'm absolutely admittedly guilty of is I'll spam the shit out of these groups, like with this podcast, like, hey man, you got to check. But I think that it's more that like I want people to know that this exists.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That it exists, and it's not like I'm not. I don't. It's not just me here. I'm doing it because I want to like. I genuinely want to like interview people like you and interview people that are part of it.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know how any other way to do it other than to be like posted. I think the one before Maddie's, the last podcast I shared like in 11 different groups, just like notice
Gotta talk to
me.
you about that.
know?
Yeah. Give me those groups.
Yeah, dude. I'll be glad to give them to you. There's like there's tri-state area music,
Right, sounds familiar.
Philly Music Live. Support your local Philly scene. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of others. I'll screenshot it or something and send it to you so
Hell
you can check it out.
All about
But
it.
I bomb the shit. Do you think it can get spammy?
Do you think like that's a danger? Of
Yeah.
doing that? I do, and I'm almost like I'm trying to get myself out of the mindset where I'm like I'm so cool I can't ever post even once because that's too spammy. Like I don't even want to show them. Like they can find it themselves or whatever. But you really you got to find a balance where you're not overbearing, but you're heard, and it's hard when everybody is doing the same thing. And there's a lot of people. It's not the biggest city out there, but it's big, and a lot of people play great music here, and a lot of people do great interviews and all kinds of projects, and everybody's trying to just spread the word. So you got to find a balance, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to do about it. So until I figure out what to do about it, I'm just gonna keep doing what the fuck I'm doing, and then
Hell yeah,
and then
yeah.
figure it out. You know what I mean?
I'm all about that. Yeah.
So what? How many CDs or albums do you guys have out now as Yeenar?
There's one CD under the name Yeenar, if we're counting like Bandcamp releases, which is the only kind of release we've done. And the other projects are under different names, but oftentimes I'll play all the instruments, but the most recent release before the Yeenar release, Yeenar Baseball and Chain, was with these two guys, Kenny and Tim, and we were called Cash Bomb, and yeah, it was a self-produced thing on Bandcamp, yeah.
So what happened to Cash Bomb?
Cash Bomb, due to some of the travel difficulties that we had with the Jersey Philly thing and just logistics, just didn't pan out, and we all had, these guys were in their toughest year of school trying to finish that up, and we didn't have like the free time that we have now to take 2 hours of train rides and all that, and so yeah, it just kind of, we put it on the back burner and it kind of morphed into this.
Wow, man. So what is that Yeenar album called?
It's Baseball and Chain.
Oh, it is called. So
Yeah.
it's a dedication to like your previous band. Is that?
No, that was Cash Bomb was the band.
Oh.
Yeah. I've said like 7 names in that last sentence. So
You
yeah,
did. So I was just kind of putting
yeah.
them together.
Yeah. By the way, Tony Danza. Blah, blah, blah. No, but yeah. So it's Yeenar was Baseball and Chain was the album, and then Cash Bomb had an EP called In Case If My Truck Break Down.
In case of my truck.
Yeah.
In case of my truck breakdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have at my house. It's like 4 to read. You know what I mean? Or some
Yeah.
crazy shit like that. 'Cause
Yeah.
these kids are crazy. And
Yeah.
so that's what it is.
You gotta have weird sentences.
Yeah, man. Actually, I think it came from Trailer Park Boys.
Ah,
Was the one
dude,
that. Are you a fan of Trailer Park Boys?
I'm a huge fan.
All right, fuck that. What's your favorite character?
By far, J-Rock.
Oh shit! I didn't see
I mean,
that.
I love them all, and I think they're all amazing. But I just think J-Rock's character is the most most outlandish, but also the most convincing.
Oh,
It's kind of weird.
dude.
And that's why I think he's my favorite. But yeah.
I don't know. I loved Ricky. One of my favorite lines from Ricky was that he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to grow this weed. I'm trying to grow this weed. I'm trying to get my life back together. Like, I'm trying to get my life back. Like, holy shit."
growing dope again. Only drinking on the weekend.
Yeah, dude.
Get my life back
Yeah,
together.
exactly right, man.
Yeah.
What did you think of the last season?
I actually liked it a lot. The previous one with Snoop Dogg and shit, I think they were relying on cameos to make it like legitimate or something, and it just took away from the whole, just the park. I don't know. That's what makes the show. So I think the new season was it was like more like the older seasons that are just more fun and focuses on the boys, not so much on Snoop Dogg or whoever the fuck. Like, it doesn't matter.
I actually liked it. I liked the cameos. I was like, that's dope. They finally like got some recognition to get
was
these
good.
dudes in there.
I feel like it was good to an extent, but towards the end of it, it would just like overtook it for me personally. I like the newer season a lot though.
I think I'm a big fan of the older seasons as well.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Those are the classics. Yeah, man. So maybe you guys should just give up your jobs, live in a trailer, and then make it happen. I'm just saying, go full in. You know what I mean?
I'm down.
All right, dude. I'm gonna hold you to it. That's what is your vision, man? I mean, I know you said you just want to like jam and write it out,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I really, like I said, I really like Andy's music, and I feel like, in terms of like, especially in a live show, like it's a lot of fun, being up there, and playing shows is a big motivation for me. It's something I want to do a lot of and get experience under my belt. So, if we can play a lot of shows, that's what I want to do. That's where I'm at right now. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's a big part of it is being able to, and it's something that I respect so much. Is it like, because I'm not a musician myself. Like I've played guitar in the past and stuff like that, but I've never performed in front of people. I've never done anything. But that takes balls, man. Like, do you guys ever get nervous at all? Like, have you ever?
We still discuss this like before every show.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do. And I think it's fair to say for everybody that you right before you go on, there's definitely some jitters. But for me, I get really excited. I like being up there and doing my thing. So there are little jitters here and there, and I guess it's different for everybody, depending on their level of playing or their level of experience playing in front of people. But for me personally, I just get excited.
So you say that you really like it. What is like? What's, I guess, an enjoyable moment for you, and like what's going through your mind as you're performing?
Through my mind while I'm performing, I'm really focused on making everything sound good, making it blend with what everybody else is playing, and just putting on a good show. I just want people to have a good time. If they're spending the time and effort to come out and see us, I want to make sure we take care of that. So, take care of them. So that's what's going through my mind primarily.
You?
Yeah, Tim said it well. Like, if I'm at a show and I'm bored, something's going wrong. If I'm in the audience and I'm not enjoying it, so like, just the entire time, it's playing a song is about half of it, and the other half is making it a performance and having people forget that they're standing in a room full of just having people completely immersed and
Forgetting that they're in a basement.
Yeah, or embracing that and loving it, or just making sure it's a good time. Yeah.
So do you guys have any like pre-show rituals? Is there like a whiskey shot and a beer, or?
We shout out to Mavis the dog, the band. I don't know if you talked to them at all.
I haven't.
Yeah,
No.
you gotta. Those are our friends from Jersey. You grew up with a few of them.
Mavis the
actually, all
dog
of
just sounds badass.
Oh,
Though.
of course, yeah. They're sick. They're amazing. But yeah, we had a show with them. Actually, Mavis's first show was also our first show. We did a charity show. It was a while back, January. Anyway, they had a handle of whiskey they were passing around as just like a band handle, and Tim's been pushing that. I think Tim's a fan of the band handle idea. We
love
need to get
this.
our own ritual, maybe just like a band's. I don't know. Any ideas?
I think we're more comfortable, or the general consensus is just a few beers is okay. I don't know if an entire handle is necessary, because you don't want to get too sloppy before you play a show. But yeah, we're still kind of at our infancy stage in terms of rituals. I would say we have some room to develop some cool ones still.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you? I mean, you've seen these guys perform. I mean, I imagine countless times, right? Did you guys grow up together? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
You guys all grew up all in the same neighborhood in New Jersey, or what?
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
So what's going through your mind as a consumer at this point of music? What, like, when you're seeing these dudes playing, like what you used to play as well though?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of different for me, but I mean, for the most part, I'm just there as a fan, just cause there are sometimes like they'll play a show and I haven't heard the song or whatever that they do play, and it's like, oh shit, here we go. And it's just like nice hearing new material. But not only that, but I mean, they've played these songs like so many times throughout so many shows. So like, they come out with like different variations with it every show. Like, maybe not every single time, but I know for a fact that Andy changes up the lyrics or something like that, and it's just interesting to hear.
So kind of like when Bradley Noel, like all the different versions of the same song that he has. You know what I mean? Is that what you do, or?
It's all part of the making the show not boring. Is, if you've seen us twice and you're there for the third time, and you're on the verge of getting bored, I'm gonna hit you with something wacky. But yeah, so I'll change a little bit of stuff up.
So where are you guys practicing right now?
We practice at 2 locations. One, we have we play in the sub basement of a nearby warehouse, about 5 minutes from my place here, and we play a lot at Tim's house in Jersey. So I'll drive the hour down or up to his place to practice sometimes.
So do you haul your equipment? And the other dude as well? Do you guys haul your equipment down here for every show?
I don't do much hauling of like drum equipment. Since we have the rehearsal space here in Philly, Andy has a lot of the gear situation covered. He's got like a full set in there. He's got amps in there. Pretty much all the equipment we need to get a good practice in. And then back at my place, I have all my drum stuff, and we've got amps there. We have all the guitars we need there and all that stuff. It's actually kind of janky over there. Everything's kind of held together with duct tape and glue, but we make it work.
Dude, duct tape fixes the world, man.
It does.
mean, dude. It's
Pro tip for any drummer out there: bring duct tape wherever you go.
Ask my landlord at 45th and Woodland. Fucking duct tape solves everything. You know.
It's magic.
So, you seem to be the driving force behind the band. Everybody's like, I'm a fan of his music. I'm a fan of his lyrics. I'm a fan. What is your end goal as a musician? I mean, are you even pursuing it? These guys are like, I just finished college. I got my degree. Are you even pursuing anything like that, or is it just tunnel vision towards music?
Yeah, no, it's definitely just music because, for one thing, I love it, and for another thing, I've kind of backed myself into a corner. Like, this is all I've put time into. This is all I've been building this project for so long that, anything else would be. I'm sure people pull 180s all the time, but I've told Kenny many a time, like, dude, I just wanna get out of this. Like, it's so much going on. There's so, or I'm not feeling it right now, or whatever. Nobody likes the new song or something. But then it always finds its way back to just being what drives me. And yeah.
I mean, how do you get to gauge? How do you even gauge they don't like the new song? Or is that a mental thing? Is that in your head?
It's definitely mental. I'm neurotic as hell, but and it's very easy to criticize yourself and just look too much into what people are not saying or are saying, or but yeah.
I wouldn't. So I'm also neurotic. My name is Shane. I'm neurotic,
Hi,
right?
I'm
Welcome
neurotic.
to Neurotic Anonymous, right? So like I know that exact feeling that you're talking about, because there'll be times that I post an episode and I'll be like, 5 fucking downloads in 24 hours. This is bullshit. Now why am I doing this? I'm not gonna, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So, but like, what it comes down to, I think, is that time, and like having that. Don't lose that. Don't lose that tunnel vision. Keep that shit up, man. Keep fucking running and gunning towards that. Because like if you just keep that, if you just keep going, then like something's bound to happen, man. It's like hitting these 2 fucking rocks together. Eventually you're gonna get a spark, right, man? Something's gonna fucking happen, right?
Exactly.
So like I think that there's been projects and things that I've done and started and not finished, and it's almost like, man, fuck, well, I only did that for 90 days and nothing happened, and I'm fucking
And
bitching.
give up,
Yeah, like, bitch, what would have happened if you would have done it for a year? What would have happened if you'd done it for 2? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every time I get to that point where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? It's like you're doing this because you love it.
Yeah.
Like if the podcast interviewing people, if it was just a phase for me,
Yeah.
right? I would have been out of it by now, right?
Yeah.
I would have gone to college. I would have gotten a nice position. I would have moved out to Philly. I would have suit and tie and been like, that life is behind. But I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I
you're
mean?
here.
Like it's something that's like, I've got to do this. Like getting
Right.
paid, not getting paid. It's just something. It's in my blood. You know what I mean? It's something that I
feel it,
have to
man.
do. So, don't lose that. Like don't beat yourself over what's not happening. It's just not happening yet. You know what I
I
mean?
totally agree, and thank you for reminding me. It's always good to get a reminder about that. Kind
Right,
of thing.
dude?
Yeah,
It
you need
is.
people like telling each other this thing.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Because
Yeah.
there's times I'm telling you, man, and it has to happen. It can't just be happening to me.
No,
you know
it's
what I mean?
everybody,
It's
yeah.
got to be happening to other artists too that are just right there at that fucking almost fucking there and like, man, nah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go
it's not
fucking work for
happening.
my dad or whatever. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, dude, you were right there. You know,
Yeah.
whatever there is. So
Yeah.
what is your there? Where is there for you? What is it you want out of this?
I have a lot of small theirs, and you know, I've learned to set smaller goals just to keep going, so I'm not discouraged by these huge goals. But like, for one thing, I would like to get signed by an indie record label, just a little guy. Mom
No
and
Hope
pop.
Records is out here.
Who is it?
No Hope. They're the dudes that
Hope.
they were my second interview on this fucking podcast.
For real?
And it's one of the dudes. It's the guitarist from Valencia.
Okay.
Do you know who Valencia is?
The name sounds familiar.
So
I'm
they're
sure I've heard.
I didn't know who the fuck they were, and I tell you what. So I didn't know who the fuck they were.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And there was a Mike Cubillos, who's like an amazing publicist. Now does publicity does all the PR for Vans Warped Tour. Announced that he just signed No Hope Records and their whole roster to his media shit. And I was
Wow.
like, oh, that's awesome. And I saw it on a Facebook post. I used to do things with him a long time ago. And I said, hey, man, I'm doing this podcast now. You know, I don't have any listeners. I don't have shit. You know,
Yeah.
I'm starting from ground zero all
Right.
over again. And I said, but I would love to interview these guys since they're in Philly. And they were like, he's like, well, what have you done? I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm telling you right now, I've done
nothing.
shit. I
Yeah.
have nothing. And I was like, but I would love to interview Philly Jesus. I'd love to interview the Philly Offensive. I'd love to. So I sent him that email. He sent that to those dudes. And then those dudes were like, yeah, man, we love
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Come on. So I was like, awesome. So then I found out about like Valencia or whatever. And I'm doing just like a little minor research on who these guys are before I go and interview. Turns out these fucking guys are selling out shows left and right throughout New York, Philadelphia. They've
Wow.
fucking, they've already made it big. They made it big, and then they lost everything, and then they made it big again. So like, and then they formed this record company called No Hope Records. And the dude JD, he does his solo project, Self Help Me from it. But I'm just saying, you know, if you're signing to an indie record label, that fucking exists here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the chance of that happening is huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So go for it. You know,
Thank
keep
you,
fucking
man.
doing that.
Yeah.
What is your there? Whether it's in the band, whether it's something else, what is your there? When will you be like, yeah, I fucking did it? Music, not music, professional. What is it that you want?
I would love to play, like a huge festival, like Coachella or something like that. It's like
Fuck
a
yeah.
huge music festival. I feel like, because I always watch those, I haven't been to one yet. I really want to, like in person. But just being in that sort of environment with, you're just outside, a huge crowd of people in front of you. It's like a sea of people in front of you. And you're just doing your thing on stage and everybody's having a good time. That's it for me. That would be it for me, personally. That just seems like such a good time to be part of it, to be actively sort of conjuring that mood for people. That's what I want to be a part of.
That's awesome. And what's your there? What is your there? What is it professionally, musically, whatever the fuck it is? What's your there?
I think Tim pretty much hit it on the nail. I mean, if anything, if I could just watch these guys rise to the top and stay there and keep on pushing boundaries, that would be something beautiful to see for me. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. If that means sacrificing myself or whatnot. Just blood
Jump
sacrifice.
on a grenade for you. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, like, if they could, like, first is, hit a small label, get signed, like, fucking, oh man. It would be huge if you guys played at, like, Coachella or something like that, like Firefly or something. That'd be awesome.
So fuck yeah, whoever's listening to this, man, find your there, figure out what your there is, and fucking you'll realize that there isn't that far off, man. Just as long as you can envision it, you're gonna be able to touch it. Just keep going, don't stop. People want to get a hold of you guys. They want to figure out, they've heard this interview, they've seen you somewhere else. Where do people get a hold of you?
We're on Bandcamp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it.
Bandcamp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
For a guy that doesn't like to post anything, you sure do have a shitload of social media.
Well, we just set that up. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny's
Manager
advice here.
duties.
Set that up in the last 3 days. But
Awesome.
if you just Google Yeenar, we're the only thing called Yeenar.
Goddamn right.
So Google fucking Yeenar.
Don't bother Google translating that shit. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
It means Yeenar in English.
Awesome, guys. Hey, thank you so much for fucking an awesome interview, man. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add before I go?
I just want to say it's good to know we have a blood sacrifice in the bag if we need it, kid.
Awesome.
Good to have that in the bag.
And while we're on it, make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, I think YouTube, we got that, and I just started a Patreon. So if you're listening to the podcast and you'd like to donate $1 a month, I'll see what I can do about getting you into some. We got several different versions of it: $1, $2, $5, $20, $50. Anything from getting a sticker, a thank you, to getting in a show that we're sponsoring. Make sure to check us out on Patreon. Again, guys, thank you very much for such an awesome interview. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, man. It was great.
All right, man. Take it easy. Hello, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that podcast. I wanted to let you guys know that we are on Patreon. That's patreon.com. Basically, what it is you can sign up and you can donate as little as $1 to continue to get this thing going. Allows me to kind of make some business cards, to continue handing those out, continue hitting up shows, and being able to bring you this content. You can donate as little as $1. I have things going on where you can get a sticker, a shirt, an advertisement if you wanted me to do one of those for you. But check us out on Patreon. That's patreon.com/NoLovePhilly. And sign up with us today. You can get exclusive content, stickers, shirts, even advertisements if you want them. But hit us up and see us there. Thank you.